Warrior One pose. It's one of the most common poses you see in a yoga class. It's also one of the most awkward poses in a yoga class. So let's break it down a little bit. I'm going to get into it from standing. Oftentimes you get into it from downward facing dog. If you're used to getting into it from downward facing dog, I'm going to have you come into it from standing. So I'm going to leave my left toes facing forward. I'm going to step my right foot back. I love getting into it with standing because you can right away put your foot into that 45-degree angle and see if it works for you. And as you step back, you're going to naturally sort of find what's balancing. You'll hear teachers say you want your heels aligned. That doesn't work for everybody. You might actually need to take a wider stance. When you step back, your foot's going to go where you naturally balance. It's really important that you keep your front knee stacked over your ankle. That's a safety thing. We don't want our knee in front of our ankle. That's going to stress the joint. If it's behind, we probably just aren't challenging ourselves enough. So stacked on top. Now we say 45-degree angle in the back. I want you to listen to your own ankle, your own calf. Our ankles and calves don't get a lot of love. If they're tight, feel free to play around with the foot a little bit. You'll find your footing, I promise. What does matter is you want to be connected through the pinky edge of your back foot. You want both of your feet doing equal shares of work. So now another thing you'll hear in class is teachers telling you to square your hip headlights, your hip bones forward. Be careful here. This isn't meant for everybody. If you have any issues in the discs in your lower back, bringing your right hip completely forward and your left back so your hips are squared to the front could feel like way too much compression. It could feel unsafe on your knee, on your calf. So you can take your hands to your hips. You can play with a little rotation. Find what's good for you. You might take a wider step. You might close it up. You might actually step back a little deeper. Find what's safe, knee especially, calf and ankle, lower back. Common pain points, things that are really easy to injure. All right, now you're in a good place. You're going to bring your hands up. I want you to be very mindful about what you do with your shoulders. Sometimes you'll see yogis put their hands together or overhead. Our shoulders love to creep up to our ears. That's creating tension. It doesn't feel good. Even if you goal post your arms, something that tells your shoulders, go away from my ears, relax. That should trigger some release in your jaw. If it doesn't, a reminder to relax there. So that's breaking down your Warrior One. It's super important to do because it is a foundational pose and because it is an amazing stretch from the low back down to the ankle. So it's really worth working on and exploring.